Hi everyone, how are you? Day 3. So this is our live reset, our workshops this week, our free 5-day challenge that I put together to reset women, especially in December, especially after a shit year, to try and revamp ourselves a little and recuperate some of our energy and get it back, right? So it was actually came from the idea of the challenge is called Find Your Feel Good Weight. Yep. Hey Julie, Find Your Feel Good Weight. That's the name of the challenge. And that's because women are focusing on the wrong areas of their health. So they're focusing on the weight, not focusing on the healthy habits, right? So I wanted to change that whole picture for you and show you that when you focus on being healthy and happy and, focus on the good things and the things that you need, that you can do differently, then and they're easy and they're part of your life and you make health part of your day and all that sort of stuff. When you do that, the weight isn't the problem, right? So you usually are able to sort out the weight by doing the healthy habits. So what happens is though, women are so down on themselves that they're always focusing on their weight and the way they look in the mirror and their clothes and the things they don't like. So they focus on things they don't like, right? Which is fine while you're changing it, right? But if that's stopping you because you feel so low and miserable about yourself, that's stopping you from making changes or moving forward in your world or in your life or in your health, then obviously that's no good, right? Because you're not living the life you want to live. You're not showing up the way you want to show up. You're actually really self-conscious. You're really feeling low confidence and low vibe, right? So that's where I wanted to change that whole picture for you and show you that when we're feeling happy, we are naturally wanting to look after ourselves. We are naturally wanting to feel good, naturally wanting to eat better. We want to feel, we want to move in a way that feels good. So I wanted to, and suppose that's my whole message, is to teach women to look, to take notice, to feel it, to actually feel the way they want to feel, but also when they're trying to lose weight, it's in a way that feels good. So the journey is a good journey. It's something you're loving, you enjoy, you're enjoying food again, you're eating things you want to love, you want to eat. You're not restricting, you're not depriving, you're not feeling bad about yourself, you're not feeling guilty, you're not feeling shameful, not feeling like a failure. It's like a completely different approach. So if you're just catching me now, go through the other 2 days because that introduces the whole method of how I teach, right? And what I'm about. Today is more about the actual plan, right? So the plan, the daily plan, the actions that you're going to take. Yesterday, so first day was about the journey, about the different approach, right? And why we would want that different approach compared to the old approach of weight loss. And maybe the experiences that you've had before were negative. So day 1 was talking about the actual approach and why I teach it differently and why I focus on being healthy and happy for women, not the weight. Yesterday, I talked a little bit more about that, talked about goals versus desires, talked about what's wrong with the all or nothing approach, all that kind of stuff, right? So what's kind of like not working, that's what I talked about yesterday. As well as what to do instead. So catch that video if you get a chance to, it's pretty good too. And today I just wanted to talk to you about, so I just went live before in my personal profile, just about something that's coming up a lot is that women are exhausted, which is no surprise, right? That's not a secret. No surprise, women are exhausted. But they're still pushing through. So we have this resilience and we're strong and we're determined women, right? But we push through. And maybe we don't want to push through. Actually, can someone tell me if you can hear me? Because yesterday I filmed 30 minutes without knowing there was no sound. So that was dreadful. So if you can hear me, can you give me a thumbs up? I did it on my computer yesterday. Today I'm doing it on my phone, so there should be no reason why you can't hear me. But I just want to make sure that I don't go into this big rant and no one can hear me. So can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up or a love heart or something if you can hear me, yeah? So I know that I'm not wasting all my good energy, my good-hearted energy on and not being heard like yesterday. That was terrible. I'm no good with tech if you know me well enough. I'm not a fancy coach. I'm no good with tech. I'm just into helping women. That's it. So I did a live before because I'm noticing that women are pushing through. We're very resilient. We put up with a lot. We push. And we actually are running on empty until we're exhausted. So we're going until we can't go anymore. That's how a client described it to me. She go until she can't run anymore, right? That's terrible, right? We don't want that. We don't want that at all. So if that's what you're doing, we need to put some balance in your day and go back to the day. Because like, it's fine to set a goal 3 months out or 6 months out or a week out or whatever. But if every day is a shambles for you, then that's where we go back to. That's where we start. So we go, right, what is happening for you? What does your day look like? Typical day. What does your week look like? Where can we give you more balance in your health? Because women aren't even adding in self-care. They're not adding in health at all. And that's what concerns me probably the most, is that they're not actually adding in. They're not considering health. So they're putting all their energy into work, all their energy into family, into, making people happy, and none for themselves. No health or self-care. So eventually you're going to run out of steam. Eventually the cracks are going to show and you're going to start feeling it, right? If it hasn't happened already, you're going to feel, you're going to start experiencing health issues that you didn't have before. So we want to prevent that if we can. Especially as we're getting older, we don't need to live like that. We don't want to live like that. Or I don't know about anyone else. I can't imagine why anyone would want to keep pushing and giving everything to everything but themselves. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, eventually it comes out somehow, whether it be coming out in your weight, coming out in your mental health, coming out in your sleep, coming out. So somehow it's showing up for you, right? So poor health will show up for you in some way if you're not taking care of yourself. So that's why it's important to look at the day, right? So when I'm working with clients, I've came up with it's right here actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 areas of health that I think are important. I call it the balance sheet, right? And it gives you back your self-care, reducing overwhelm. It helps you get fitter and stronger and move more and be more active. You get more energy, because we work on fueling the energy, but not just food. It's actually doing things that are going to give you back energy, like your joyful activities, fulfillment, less of the things that are draining your energy. So being aware of what is draining the crap out of your energy. Mindset is through all of that. So mindset pretty much underpins everything we do, because if we're not feeling like we deserve to look after ourselves or need, aren't looking out, if we don't think we are worthy, or someone's told us we're not for some reason, or shown us that we're not, it's hard. So we need to revamp the whole way you think about that, right? About you, because how you think about you really matters. Losing the weight. So that's about, okay, so what habits have we got going on? What sabotages we got going on? What is going on that's stopping you, right? So what's in the way? Is it beliefs? Is it stories? Is it emotional eating? Is it binge eating? Is it addiction to sugar or food or something like that? What is actually happening for you that's creating the weight? Is it hormones? Is it an imbalance? You know what I mean? And then we talk about habits. So I'll show you on a picture. So there is training that I give my clients, right? So we do it in a video, but I've got live trainings for these. So when we're talking about like a transformation, for instance, we're revamping your day across the board. So your nutrition, your hydration, your movement, your mindset, and your self-care. So we're looking at how we can give you back some power and some energy back, from doing that. So that's kind of the plan part, right? So what is your plan? Like, how long do you want to keep running on empty, being exhausted, not sleeping, stressed out of your brain, not taking care of yourself, not valuing your time or your energy, right? So most of the time it comes down to not valuing energy, because energy is your currency, right? So if you've got great energy, apart from everyone just loves being around you, you have a different perspective. You're important, you're valuing it, you're protecting it, right? So you're not letting in the negative stuff, you're not letting stuff derail you. So that's part of the mindset skills, the superpowers, like calm and mindfulness and gratefulness and being present. You know, there's things that you can do to protect your energy. And calm is probably the most important thing that you can do to reduce your energy. So finding ways, reduce overwhelm and stress. So finding ways to give yourself back that energy that you need, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So it really is about working out the steps. So if you said, okay, this week I'm going to work on hydration. So I'll give you an example, right? But you hate drinking water. So let's look at ways that we can get more liquid into you or more water into you in a way that you're happy with, whether it be herbal teas, whether it be some mineral water. If you like, you know, if you've been a soft drink girl, you might want to tweak a little bit and go on to mineral water and add a bit of flavoring in. It might be cranberry juice or something like that. Preferably not vodka, just soft drink, cranberry juice and mineral water, right? So how can we make that easier? Is it too daunting to leave a liter of water on your table, for example, right? So when we're actually working together, and I do that either one-on-one or in a small group, you are going down to that nitty-gritty level going, okay, well, I hate water, and how can I make this work for me? So, you know, it might be that you get up in the morning, and if you've followed me along for a long time, you'll know I rant about this all the time. You know, just having the simple little baby steps along the way, right? So if it's nutrition and you're not eating at night, or you're not eating enough during the day, we talk about healthy snacks. We talk about planning the meals, getting the shopping list done. So we plan for that. If we've got some emotional eating and some stress eating and binge eating, we talk about strategies around the predictability of that. Like if you've had a really stressful day and you're really exhausted and you're very emotional, it's been a really horrible day for you for some reason, you know what's going to happen, right? So we predict that and we have a strategy around that. But we definitely don't want any guilt or shame or anything else. So everything's really is based around positive psychology, being very positive and doing positive actions. And for instance, if I've had clients that have a lot of guilt around food, right? So say they've overeaten because they've had the emotional day, then the next day they won't eat at all. So then we talk about what food we can tweak and eat that won't give you that guilt hangover. I should call it that, the guilt hangover, the next day, right? So that's probably a lot more in depth, but when we're just talking about, let's look at your day, let's plan out some actions that you want to do. If you've followed the last 2 days, we talked about what you want to change this week, whether it be more water, less sugar, you want to go to bed earlier, you want to move your body more. What is that action that you're working on this week? And then what we do is break that into little tiny mini steps, if you like, to make that action happen. So to make that change happen for you, yeah? So, and it might be we just pick one thing. So typically, to reduce the overwhelm of it all, is you just pick one thing, 1 or 2 things that you want to work on. And even when I'm coaching for 30 days, we just pick 1 or 2 things. Although you'll get mindset shifts all over the place, because depending on where the struggles are, where the stories are, where the old beliefs and old patterns are, that's what we move along as we're tweaking and rolling and getting rid of stuff. But it's really doing the positive actions that's going to make a difference. And the habits need to be little and mini habits, I call them. So breaking it down. So it's so easy that you can't have resistance against it. So for instance, if I said, right, we're going to lose 10 kilo, but I told you that you had to drink 3 liters of water and you had to run 2 Ks for the day, you know, who's going to do that shit? Nobody, right? It's very difficult to do. So we look at how can we make this so easy that your brain, because your brain will go, oh, I'm not doing that, right? I can't do that. That's too hard. And the problem with the old weight loss story and the old weight loss routines and all that, it is too hard. And women don't want to give up their food. They don't want to deprive themselves. They don't want to restrict. They certainly don't want to thrash their body, all for the sake of losing weight, right? So we can't have anything that feels bad for the sake of losing weight. So you go through this horrible experience just to lose the weight, right? when you can do it in a nice, kind, nurturing, loving, giving way, right? That gives your body nutrients, that gives your body energy, that gives you back the rest and the self-care and the self-worth that you need and the valuing of yourself. That's a much better approach, right? And maybe it's very foreign if you followed the old ways and it's all you know, but I'm going to teach you a different way, right? And it's definitely possible. In fact, it's the only way I see it working, because otherwise women put weight back on or they give up, they fall off the wagon, whatever they call it, right? Because it's way too hard and it's too stupid. Like a lot of the diets are just too stupid, right, to follow. So we don't want any of that. I'm anti-diet, anti-restriction, anti-filling shit in general. It's got to be about feeling healthy and feeling energetic and really tuning into your body, because your body knows what you need, right? It's always known. So, you know, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full, like all those hormones sort of they need to be reset. The stress hormones need to come down so your gut actually works properly, and those hormones help you. And the other thing I talked about, I think yesterday too, was the estrogen, or maybe it was the day before, the estrogen issues. When you have your balance of hormones that are out, then obviously we've got issues with stress hormones, dumping cortisol and insulin, and that's where you get your insulin resistance. That's where you get your estrogen build up in your tummy, because your ovaries, if you're older like me, your ovaries have slowed down. They're not producing as much estrogen. Your adrenal glands and your tummy is supposed to cut the balance, right? It's supposed to make up the balance, which is why we get the weight, right, around, you know, the 50-ish, if you're like me, right? And it's because our adrenals aren't picking up that slack anymore, right? They're not, because they're over it. And that's why we also have low libido, because they're so busy fighting your body on the stress level and the cortisol and the insulin and all that. They don't have anything else to give, right? So that's, as a biological thing, a way of looking at it, from a primitive way of looking at it, our bodies were designed to survive. So the last thing they're looking for is libido. Like if they're fighting tigers and running away from dinosaurs and stuff like that, there's no energy for libido, right? For intimacy, all that kind of stuff, right? So you need to have that balance. So, you know, I know people say, oh, balance is rubbish, but it's not when it comes to health. It's not when it comes to not putting all your energy into one area that drains you completely and is not fulfilling. It's not rubbish when we're talking about it like that, right? We need a balance of nutrition, and in that you need your balance of good fats, carbs and proteins. You need your balance of healthy foods. You need your balance of hydration. So in the mindset, we need the tools, right, to cope better and to feel better and to get through the tough days. Yeah, we need that resilience to do that, not be fatigued and have nothing left, right? With our fitness, we need to be toned. We need to keep our metabolism going. We need to have muscle, because you want more muscle, less fat, right? Percentage. We need to reduce the overwhelm and the stress in our bodies, because we get inflammation and aches and pains and autoimmune diseases and cancers, and we get illnesses, right? From having too much stress in our body. Our body's fighting it all the time. So we do need balance. I'm convinced we definitely need a balance that doesn't allow that you put all your eggs in one basket and give your business all the health, or give your family everything you got and you've got nothing, right? Because you didn't value yourself enough to say, hey, what about me? I'm important too. What about me, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I can send you this blank. I can probably post this to you. Like if you're in my groups, you'll find it anyway, because in the free group, under the tabs, if you've not been in there, and the units, there is little courses in there. There is lots of tools in there. There's recipe plans and meal plans. There is a lot of stuff in there. Have a look in there and see what you think is interesting. Ask me questions if you don't know what something's for. But this is the tools that I use in my coaching, right? So I'll coach one-on-one, or I'll coach in a group. Yeah, so you can ask me about that too if you want. But yeah, I can give you that. So you can write in what you're going to change to reduce overwhelm, what you're going to do differently to get fitter, whether it be, you know, you're going to walk 10 minutes a day, what you're going to get to do more energy. You're going to take some time out and have do some reading or bit of time with your pets and nature or something like that. Get your hair done. Mindset, you're going to be more present, or you're going to write down and journal every day, right? Or you're going to do something in that way. Losing the weight, well, that might be that you're just going to eat healthier snacks, or you're going to drink more water, or you're going to, like, I'm not going to go into the details of how you lose weight here today, right? Because that's not what this, well, the challenge is about that, but only in the way that I want you to notice that the journey needs to feel good for weight loss, right? It can't be a journey that feels like rubbish and you feel like a failure and you're always feeling guilty or shamed, right? That's why this is about your feel good weight. Because women were asking me, they wanted to be a certain number. They weren't even thinking about how it might feel. So if you get to a point where you're looking after yourself, you're feeling amazing, your clothes are great, you're fitting, you're wearing the colors you want, you're moving your body so you feel really free and not like all jammed up, spending money on chiros and physios. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I went to the chiro today. So I'm a big fan of that too, right? But if you've got that balance, then what about the fact that you may be feeling great and maybe the number hasn't changed that much on the scale, but you're more toned, your clothes feel great, you've got energy, you're sleeping better. Maybe that's more important than the number, right? And I think this is why I want to do the challenge, is because people are getting hung up on what the number on the scale is, and then they're absolutely crushed when the number hasn't changed. I want you to notice the other things, like that you're waking up fresh, you're going to bed earlier, you're feeling like you're having a really good sleep, you're not having hot flushes anymore, you maybe your back and your hips don't hurt as much, or you know, whatever it is, maybe your skin's glowing. I want you to notice the other stuff, the valuable stuff, not the number on the scale, because you are not that number on the scale, right? We can show weight loss in other ways, right? And we can show benefits in other ways that are more important. In fact, your clothes and measuring is more accurate than the scales. So that's why I'm doing this challenge this week, right? Any questions, you let me know. I'm just thinking tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're talking about tomorrow. I think we're talking about sabotage tomorrow, mindset tomorrow. The day after that, I might do a Q&A. So if you've gone through the videos for the week and you've got some questions, write them down, post them, or bring them, whatever. It's probably easier to post them, and I'll answer them in the Q&A on Friday. So that's what I'm going to do, right? And habits. The last one was on the list was habits. So what habit do you want to change? What can we tweak, swap? We don't cold turkey, by the way, right? Cold turkey does not work. If you're having trouble with energy drinks or coffee or smokes or sugar or something like that, cold turkey does not work. We just need to gently add in more positives, add in more good things for you. What aren't we eating? What aren't we doing that's making us feel good, right? Sometimes it's easier to focus on what we need, what would be better for us, than focusing all our energy on trying to stop something from happening, right? Because I think once you feel the difference and understand the benefits of that change that you're making, it's easier to continue it. It's easier to change that way than expecting you to stop something, right? So I hope that helps, because I think that's quite valuable to know, right? So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So like I said, I'll post this in the group so you can write your own things down. You can have a look in those tabs, find what you want in there. There's actually, I'm not sure if it's in this group because this is a free group, but in my paid groups, there's a video that teaches you how to do all this as well. But there's lots of information. So that's another thing too, like with one-on-one, you can have a strategy session where we go through this, right? So it's probably more around this planning your meals and planning the things you need to do that are going to help you. The 30-day is a bit longer, and that's a small intimate group. Intensive, we do a live Zoom every week, and we go through where you're at, what's happening. So it's more like a check-in, I suppose. Plus the modules, plus all the learnings, which are in the videos and lessons in the Facebook group. So it's all easy to access, right? Everything's easy to access. And then there's the VIP level, which is 1-to-1. So you can do that for 30 days or you can do that for 8 weeks, right? And that's actually calls, one-on-one calls via Zoom. And it's around your struggles, your specific struggles. So working together, that's what you've been waiting for, hoping that you can work together. But anyway, that's what I want to talk to you about today. So let me know what you came up with for your plan, as in what was the habit that you wanted to change? What was the thing you didn't like about how you're feeling? How do you want to show up? You'll also see, yesterday we talked about vision statements. So have a vision statement for the week, have a vision statement for the month. What do you want to work on? And if you're not sure, just message me and we'll have a quick chat over Messenger, right? I'm quite happy to do that. All right, I'm going to let you go because I kept thinking, right, I'm only going to do 20 minutes and I don't know what it is now. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I can't tell the time right now, how long I've been on for. Any questions, let me know. And yeah, so tune in tomorrow. And if you're already in the Well Woman's group, if you're here right now. And yeah, if there's anything you want to know, let me know. Okay, have a good day. Bye.